switch, cause you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause ice on the wrist. My bitch, you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money, When the not saving, Be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, on the wrist, on the wrist. Watch out, cuz I never switch, I never switch, I never switch, I never switch. Ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist,
I was legit ever since I blew they all on my hey back then didn't know I exist. Don't touch my cup, you know how I sip. Hey, got your long that I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent about 10 on my fit. X slick then hit with the back then used to out the zip. Blow out his back and then dip. Got a whole party all on the ship. All these four things pull out the VIP. Suck turn up, baby, pour out the milk. So you know how I drip. Crush.
Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gon' be from old age. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pounds. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room. Congrats every time I'm through. Same packet, nobody knew, so I never get confused. Hotel get a bird's eye view. Hotel got a waiting room. Read a magazine while you wait for me, baby. I'll be done so soon. Phone gotta be off. Each store got locks. I got some trusted shoes. 10K on the countertop. Don't look so shocked. It's nothing new. Death comes in threes. Wins come in twos. Cash comes in ones. Throw it up, celebrate some news. I do a good job. Pull up and pop out and pull out. Head on and hood on. Pedal to metal. When I put my foot on, I got to put on. I got a bad one. They want to keep me. Oh, that's a good one. Pockets are dense. I think my bread is hard as a crouton. Receipts in my pocket don't come with a coupon. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
On the double. Hard. Watch safety green.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. He's got his man here. It's Gary Jennings Jr. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also moved the sticks.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. General West. 5.
To throw on 2nd down. Light. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, Light. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Watson off play action. On the move to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The linebacker Darius Leonard applied the heat.
Didn't have the greatest field position to start, did they? And now after this sack, it's way, way worse.
And right off the bat, first play of the game. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Here's Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. Bell sheds him off. A second nice move. Le'Veon Bell, it's a foot race. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. It's a big run that time by Bell. 51 yards.
And the Texans first down.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Got his man. It's Eifert. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up first and goal. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help, because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how are you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Now Bell. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Here's Watson. That's complete. It's Bell. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got by oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Here we go. Set. 30 base. Check 37. Let's go.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Mack. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Operating from the gun. Light looking for Campbell downfield. And that is incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Set, 19, 58, come on. Check tight, check tight. Line up, go.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Off of play action, it's Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now a first down throw, Watson. Being chased out left. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Set, 19. Mike 58, right there. 3 balls. Line him up. 94. Line him up.
Looking to throw again on second down. Watson. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Flush to his right. Connects here with a tight end, Blake Jarwin. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
Set, 19. Mike, number 53. Mike, 24. Let's go, G. Jim.
On first down, it's Watson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
At the 16-yard line.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. We're scoreless after 1. Texans football to start quarter 2 as they've got it with a 2nd and 1 coming up. To throw again on second down. Watson, and he whips that one incomplete there.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on first down.
Brings up
Now for the field goal try, here's Eddie Pinheiro. From the left hash, this from 34. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And it's now 3-0 Texans. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
And feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Second and 10 now from the 27.
Not today. Back. Greystone, travel.
To throw again. Light. He's got it to Hilton. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. To throw on third down. Light. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48, and he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy for the defensive back to go get the football.
To throw is Watson. He gets this to Devontae Adams. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Now a first down carry by Bell, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike,
out of the pistol, it's Bell. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now after the run by Bell, here's another first and 10. Out of the gun, Watson. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Throwing again on second down. Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Kiki QT. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Set 50, plant. Watch a slant, watch a slant, watch a slant.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Go now. 18 games. Here we go, D. All day, defense. Defense.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Looking to throw. Right, and Jennings has it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 29-yard line.
First and 10 at the 29-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. And he's got about 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 25.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. Campbell making the catch. And they'll get this down to the 10. Give them 14 on that one and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, Light, nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Texans scoop it. He's at the 50. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Always fun to watch a big boy pick it up and go. He may need a little oxygen on it. He may need a lot of oxygen on the sideline.
Not only that, how about you and me trying to balance ourselves up here because you can feel the shaking all the way up to the booth. That big guy trying to get it to the house.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, Let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Buying time to his left. He's going to take off with it. And it's a touchdown. Deshaun Watson with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans push further out in front. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Now this is Hilton on the receiving end. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Operating from the gun. Light. Completes it to Jones. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very solid gain of 27.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
This quarterback now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. First and 10. Catch made here by Campbell. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Ready? 10 Lobo. Watch it, drop, rock it. Check 13. Get it.
They'll run on first down. It's Mack, and they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's second and 12.
6-6. Pull it. Be grip.
From the gun, Light. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. Third down here.
Makes it third down and 12 yards to go.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun, Light. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Incomplete in the end zone. It's now fourth down.
So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. The kick by Carlson is good. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Now it's Watson. And that's complete to Adams. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Watson now 14 out of 17, 82%, and it's 1st and 10. From the 50, it's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Kamoko Toure.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Back to throw, Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
Ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen guy so that you don't take an interception? But really the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play and ended up taking the sack.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
6 guys. Check 6 guys. Shoot.
On the ground, it's Mack. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Let's get it.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Who's on 85? Come on, baby. Let's get this. Now.
From the gun, Light. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Back to throw. Light. Into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack. Call it a 3-yard gain, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Light. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Christian Kirksey able to get him down for a loss of 11, and it brings up 4th down. This is away, and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
Brandon, you're never quite sure what the side judge or the field judge is going to rule there. That was awfully close, but in the end, he says it passed over the 1-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it out. I mean, you can see it right there, right? See him walking up the sideline? Told him to stop right there at the 1.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Here we go, G. Get off the field.
From the gun, here's Watson. Open man is QT, complete. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half, 1st and 10. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
On first down, it's Carson. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here's Watson. Eluding the punt. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Give the sack to Blake Martinez. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Watson now to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Forced out to his left. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Hey, Mike,
2nd and 6. Looking deep for Hilton. It got his man complete. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to pull a bit closer.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done.
Pilot, 64, get it.
Operating from the gun. Light under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs.
Le'Veon Bell, kiss him goodbye. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Le'Veon Bell. 78 yards. And the Texans push further out in front. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Ready, set.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go.
Come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Big grip.
On 1st down, Light. And that one falls incomplete. Try to dump it underneath. Now 2nd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Keep it up, guys. Hey, check 24. Check 24. Sit up. Hit it.
Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Pick it up. Big Dad, protein spill. Hey, exit. Ready?
From the gun, Light. Ebron with it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also move the sticks. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Light. And it's caught by Jennings. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Look, squeeze.
They'll run on 1st down. Mack. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Down. 60 outlaw.
Throwing on first down. Light. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
From the 24, they'll go again on second and 10. Throwing again. Light. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 17 yards on the play as they try to eat into this 17-point deficit. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. From the gun, Light. And he's got it. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
They'll try to run with Hines. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's third and goal. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Oh, he may have gotten lucky. Tried to dump it off underneath on the check down. Nearly picked. Instead, it's incomplete. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down. On 4th down, Light. And he's got his man. It's Hilton for the Colts touchdown. T.Y. Hilton with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Colts are able to cut into this lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
18 yards that time to push him up, 1st and goal. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now Watson. Flushed out right. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. It's the fullback. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with it?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Looking to throw. Light. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Hey, Delta. Ready.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Light looking deep for Hilton. And this is going to be intercepted. Lonnie Johnson picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Carson. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They run again with Carson. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Caught here by Bell. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. Now the Colts will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. And this will be taken at the 13. So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Elsewhere in the NFL, they're in the fourth down in New Orleans. And the Saints, they've now opened up a 2-touchdown lead. A victory there would mean they're 6th on the year. Now we'll carry from Mack. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for 2nd down. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Complete to Hilton. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, 52 yards. And the Colts are able to draw a bit closer.
You got to understand situational football because they're playing with the lead here late in the ball game. So the back defender has got to be as deep as the deepest receiver. Keep everything in front of you, rally up and make the play.
Yeah, you would think they had the 3-score lead. Now it's down to 2, but 3-score lead here late, that they wouldn't give up a big pass play like that, but they did.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Come on.
Down to a knee goes Watson, and that should just about do it for this ball game. And that knee will do it. So they snap the losing streak. Always a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if this one right here, when they're taking a knee, is as much exultation as exhalation, right? They just breathe a sigh of relief. Finally got a win, needed one desperately.
So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And I know I'm not breaking any news when I say that any road win in this league is a good one.
No doubt.
But it's a double bonus when you get a victory on the road in your division.
And when you start a season, each team breaks down their schedule in different ways. Some do it every 4 games, right? Let's go quarterly. Others say, listen, we've got to take care of our home field. And, you know, out of a 16-game season, if you get 8 at home, let's at least win 7 at home and split our road games. That's what you're trying to get done. So you're exactly right. A road win, precious, especially within the division.
So for Houston, it may not be too late to salvage their season as the win moves them to 2-5 now on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Colts, the downward spiral continues as they drop to 0-6 now. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaud. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.